Hello, I'm Mark, and in this video I will show you how I created my own Astro personal website and self-hosted in my own server. So let's do it.
Okay, so we can first go watch my current portfolio to see how it looks. You see it has like a very beautiful banner that I changed the photos of my interest. It shows my also my how I describe my title. We can see the different projects I've done with a beautiful image. Then we can enter of one of them. It shows some description, some links. Also, you can put some videos in the projects. For example, in this one that I created some years ago, some game like the Pong, but like escape room. No, you are the ball. Basically, the portfolio allows you to showcase all your projects in a more beautiful way than having only the GitHub. However, you can also go to the GitHub, show the repositories of the GitHub, and you can see also here in my about, I have the description, and I have also another link to one of my websites that this is more like a CV where I show my experiences. I also show my education, also a link back to the project's website and my skills. You can see how fast it loads. Like it really works very fast. And I will now show you how you can do the same and how I did it. I will do the same from scratch. And if you want to follow with me, you can do it. Okay, so I recommend like if you want a portfolio, better to use Astro. Like Astro, it's this one, a web framework for content-driven websites, and it's very well suited for blogs, for portfolios, for things that are statically are it's very good because it loads very fast, really extremely fast. It has these concepts of islands where it only loads the parts that you see, and also it's pretty easy to develop with it. So for starting, like with your portfolio, there is this website that is Astro Build Themes that it shows you the different templates that you can use. There are some paid ones, but we can go to more and we can here like go to several one of them, read the description, and if we find one that we like, we can choose it. Better if it's free. For this video, I will just go to the one I choose for my own portfolio, that it's Yukina. It's free. So we can enter here. There's also a live demo that we can see how it looks. So yeah, apparently this was more made for some anime things. You can see it's very similar to the one I have. I just adapted to my own projects. I also made some modifications, like I removed these parts that I didn't feel like I needed, and it occupied too much time. I changed it. I moved the date, for example, here below, the project also below, and the tags also. And and well, I removed also this the archive page where it shows like all the projects that that the website have. And okay, so let's start. We can go to the GitHub page, and I will just do it from zero. I have a TMP folder. Okay, and I will now clone this repo. Okay, here. and let's clone it. Okay, so fast, Yukina, and I open it with Visual Studio Code. Okay, here we have it. So, first of all, you can just go to the README. Usually it will show you how to install it, what you need. In this case, like we need to have the core pack enabled just to use the PNPM. If you already have it, you just go to folder, do PNPM install. Okay, maybe this takes not very fast. And we just follow the README PNPM build. Okay, and now we just deploy it in live with PNPM dev. It will give us a link that we can see, like in our local host, how the website looks now that it loads. Okay, it's doing things, and here we have it. This is the website running in our local computer. So now all the changes that we can make here, like for example, we can go to maybe to the title, like we see Yukina template demo site. Let's look for this. Okay, and we here put software developer. We save it, and it should, if we reload, it shows the change instantly. We can put the name. We put my name. Okay. Again, it changes. White paper. Let's look for this. Username white paper. So maybe I want to change this to something different, like my name. Okay. So basically, you have all this stuff, and you just change for your own portfolio. And this website, what I like about this template, what I like about it is that you can go to post, like in source content post, there is the markdown files, that these are actually the posts that you see here. Like all of these are only a markdown. So when you enter, it's you can see no, that it's markdown rendered. So for example, I can go to this video, copy and paste it, and rename it like my game. Okay, I put here the title, my personal game, and I publish it, let's say 2025. This shows my own personal game. We save it. We put here two tags. That's games, category, maybe projects. And let's say we can remove everything and just keep the YouTube video. And here I will instead go to my own video, like this, and copy video URL, and here we have, well, you need to copy this because it needs to be embedded. Okay, and the other things I think I don't need. Let's save it. And here we have it, my personal game. I enter and we have the video again. Okay, and this image that you see in the post, you can also change it. Like they have here a new metadata that it's the cover. And here, what we can do is to put our cover in the folder public. That's how Astro works. Like the public folder is the one that should contain all the assets. So for example, for my video, let's do something fast. I stop it. I make a screenshot of this. Okay, I have a screenshot. I go to this folder and I save my screenshot. And I can rename it to game cover. Okay, so from here I can put game cover PNG. I recommend, like, if you can, to the images, put it in WebP. Uh, WebP. It doesn't work like this, but you can open with GIMP and change the extension because it loads much faster. The size is much smaller. But in this case, I will just keep it with PNG. As you can see, it just reloads, and we have here the cover image that we just added. Okay, now it looks like it has more meaning to the content. And okay, so let's say we just finish, like you can use this template, you modify as you want. And when you finish, now we need to host it, no? So how I did, I'm using Proxmox. Proxmox is just a operating system that is used for your own personal server. So mine is under this IP. Okay, wait. Here we have it. Okay. And here I have the list of all my virtual machines that I use for my services that are like hosted in my own server. So for my personal website, for this one, I actually have it hosted in this container, this virtual machine. And so this is a bit more complicated to explain in this video, but basically there's the easy alternative that is to use a paid server like Amazon Web Services, where you can host your own website there, but you need to pay for sure. And the other alternative is to have, for example, in my case, an old computer that we can install some operating system like Proxmox. You don't need actually to complicate with Proxmox. If you just want for a website, you can just install like Ubuntu or any other Linux distribution. And especially the server flavor of the Linux distribution, like Ubuntu server. You install it in this computer and you need to tweak a bit of the ports. You need to open some ports of your router to allow like people to enter to the computer. And you also need a dynamic DNS. So because the IP of your router, it will change every time you restart it. So you don't want that people goes to that IP and if it restarts and it changes, it will go to nowhere. So with the dynamic DNS, you can just redirect, have like this one, no? Like this domain name that basically it redirects to my IP every time it changes. So it knows when it changes and it correctly redirects to the place that it should go. And if you want, add in the comments if you want me to make a video more in detail how to achieve that. But for now, let's imagine we have this container. That's how I've done it. So I will actually go to the same container I have here. Like I can enter with SSH. Okay, here I have it. Okay, and here I am inside. You can see here that I have this folder that actually contains my portfolio website, this one, and actually the other one, this CV, it contains the other one that I also have it here. It is more like my curriculum. So for this demonstration, I will just publish the one we just created right now, this this one. And usually I would recommend to create a GitHub. I mean, you should, if you do it, create a GitHub repository. And here you will just clone the repository you have in GitHub and clone it in your server. But since I don't want to create the repository for this demo, I will just copy paste the folder I just created before. Okay, so let's go to Yukina. And how can we copy with SCP? Okay, and here we have it now. It's going to be copied in Yukina. Let's wait until all the files are copied. Okay, my mistake. Apparently, when I tried to do the SCP, I thought that it's also copying all the files that we don't need, like all the compile files, all the library files, and it was taking forever. So yeah, it's much better if you create your own GitHub because it will not uh, publish the development files. So yeah, I had to cancel it. I will just remove this Yukina folder that I was trying to copy. Opala. Okay. And I think I will just go with the repository that they have here, the Yukina, and SSH copy it, sorry, clone it again, but in my server. So all the changes that we just made before, I mean, it was only the names, but the changes that we did here, it will not be copied. But don't worry, I will just do it very fast. So git clone my Yukina in my server. So fast. Okay. What I can just do fast is to go to the. Also, I recommend when you're in the server, if you know how to use Teamux, to use it because in case the connection shuts down. Also, in my case, I'm in Taiwan now, and my server is in Barcelona. So it can happen that it breaks the connection very easily. And if you're in the middle of a command or something, you can have some more problems. But with the mux, it's run the commands in a daemon in the background. So even if the connection shuts down, you can just come back. Okay, so just fastly, I will put a copy again this post that I just created here. Okay, and I will just do my video markdown and copy it here. Okay, at least we have something personal. Okay, here it is. And also what I was changing before was the title, no? Like it was in Yukina config. Maybe let's team Yukina config and change this. Not the most comfortable to use Beam to change the things, but software developer and here Mike. Okay, let's keep it like this, very simple. And now we need to deploy it. So we need to use some something like engines, like a reverse proxy that redirects the communication to our website. So I already have done this for my previous websites. And basically, I will just copy paste a script that I have here that it's the deploy that let's copy deploy and copy it to Yukina. Okay, but we need to modify it. So let's go to Yukina and I will modify it with P. What is doing this? This is like a script I've done to simplify all the deployment, and when I do changes in the GitHub to pull the changes, I here you see that we're pulling from the GitHub, but we don't need now. Well, maybe I can just comment it. So if you want to have it for later, you can copy this one. Now we just install the dependencies. We build the Astro, this we need. And here, okay. To deploy in engines, we need to copy the files in a special directory that for my main website, it's like in this one. But for this demo website, I would just put it in here, like in a subfolder called Yukina. And here again. This actually, you can see it in my CV, how I've done it, because I already modified it. Okay, and I was doing it wrong. We can better do it, not in a new folder, but just with the prefix of Yukina. So we have Yukina, markmonfloor.com, that is my domain. And here, yeah, the same. For these changes, maybe ChatGPT can help. And this is the comment. I will just change it also to have it consistent. Okay, so we are removing the old version of the Yukina markmonfloor.com, copying to the new one to the folder and changing the ownership. Okay, and we'll start the engines. Perfect. So that's all for this script. However, this is not the only thing, because you need also to add the engines configuration. Here I have how I did it to my CV, and basically we need to add the engines configuration in in this folder. We can go see it. And I have now from my current websites, and let's see this one. This is the one I'm using for my main blog. So I will just actually use the same, just changing the server name. Okay, let's copy this and create a new one called yukinamarkmonfort.com. So we need to edit this. Okay, we paste it and we just change the server name to Yukina. Oops. Point here. And again this one. And the root. Okay, here we have it. Let's save it. And now we need to create a symbolic link that goes to the new engines configuration to the sites enabled. Okay, we save it and we just check. This is to check if everything is good. Okay, everything successful, and we just reload it. But however, this will not do anything because we don't even have the files from the deploy. We didn't run the deploy yet. Wait, this one. So let's just run it. No? Like everything is good. Let's run the deploy. Okay. It should not take too much time. And also it should ask me the sudo password because when we are copying to the par folder, this is it requires sudo permissions. Okay. There was a mistake. Apparently, we didn't create. Okay. So let's do it fast. Okay. My bad. And now actually it should be a bit faster because we already precompiled the files. And here it is. Okay, we just deploy it. This message is not correct because it's in Yukina. However, let's try if we can enter. yukinamarkmonfort.com. No. So we also need to do some other stuff. And the first thing is to redirect the subdomain yukinamarkmonfort.com to this server, to this host I have. And how we do that? Well, I have my domain in Cloudflare. So let's go to Cloudflare. Login. Okay. And let's go to, okay, to my domain, markmonfort.com. Perfect. And here we go to my DNS records. And here I have all my records from this domain. That the ones we were using, we saw before, it's this, markmonfort.com, and this one, the CB website. And the other ones are other services I have. So I need to create a new record. And the name or the subdomain, it's in this case, we use Yukina. And since it's going to another domain, it's not going to an IP, we need to change the type to CNAME, like the other ones, because we're using dynamic, uh, dynamic DNS. So we copy the content, my dynamic domain. I remove the proxy. You can leave it on if you want. And that's all. Okay, let's do it. Sometimes it takes a while to propagate, but let's see if it works. Still not. Because what is happening now is that this redirection is going to my main server, my Proxmox, but it's not actually going to the VM that I have, this VM, no? Like my web server. Actually, what is happening is that this is going to another container because I configured my Proxmox to redirect everything to my container that is installed the Nginx proxy manager. This, if you use Proxmox, I recommend it a lot. Like it simplifies so much all your services that you have online. If you only want for one website and you don't have more services, you can just redirect everything to the web server. However, you will have to manage with the HTTPS a bit more complicated somehow because the Nginx Proxy Manager simplifies so much. So I recommend to use that. And if you just don't have Proxmox and you only use like an Ubuntu server installation, then you will only use the Nginx, and that's all. But in our case with Proxmox, we need to also make some redirection in the Nginx Proxy Manager. So actually, I have this behind my domain too, so I can easily access. Okay. And yeah, the Nginx. Another thing I forgot to say that you need to buy a domain name if you want to have like your own branding, no? Like markmonfort.com. You will need to buy it. In Cloudflare, you can buy it. It's actually very cheap. Like most of these domains that are not like having famous words are like maybe 10 euros per year. So it's like very, very cheap. And and yeah. So in this Nginx Proxy Manager, here I have all my redirections that I'm having. These are the two you see, like markmonfort.com and the CD markmonfort.com, that both goes to the same internal IP. And we need to create a new one. So let's add a new proxy. The domain name is Yukina markmonfort.com. It's using HTTP, okay, and is going to 10.0.0.36, and the port is 8. Okay, we can just activate some of the block common exploits and maybe catch assets. Wait, Yukina. We need to press this add. Okay. So SSL. That's important. If you want your website to not be blocked for by all the browsers, you need SSL to have the HTTPS. Thankfully, with the Nginx proxy manager, it's so easy. So I will just request a new SSL certificate. That's all. It goes automatically. I use HTTP2 support. This enabled. Email address, I used my generic one, and I agree. Okay, let's save it. Okay, and here we have it. Let's compare. This is the same as my CB and my Mark Montfort. And okay, so let's now try this. Okay, so here we have it. My new website under my subdomain Yukina. And yeah, all my changes. Let's see my personal game. Okay, here like the cover that we added before, I forget to add it in the in the public, like this game cover PNG. I didn't add it to my server, so that's why you see this. Uh, but the rest, like, looks it works. Yeah. So here we have it. Like we just deploy in little time, like our Astro website. Now it's just modifying the things of the template, like making the changes that you want, uh, and that's all. Also, in my own website, I I made some modifications. Also, I corrected some errors that I found in the template of Yukina. Especially in the reactiveness. Like I always care a lot how it looks in the phone, and you can see that it looks pretty smooth also. And if we enter here in a project, also it works smooth. So I made some modifications. Also, like if I enter to my repo here, you can see that my post also has other metadata that I actually added also, like maybe not this one, but for example, this one. No, we see the cover position that it has the bottom in the breaking game, and also I think this one has cover position top. So what it's doing is that the cover image that we see here on the right, like by default in the normal template, it goes exactly on the middle of the image. However, there's some images that I think it looks better if instead of centering on the middle, it's like align it on the top or on the bottom. Like for example, for this profile that showcase my website, it's aligned on the top. So when we make the screen small, you see now like it shows the top part. If instead it was on the middle, it will just cut my image here, and I think it would not look that beautiful. And the same for this one. This one, it's aligned on the bottom in this case because I feel like I like it more to see the bottom part of the game. And the rest, you can see that it's aligned just in the middle, because already it looks good. And yeah, and also I made some different other corrections that you can see in my GitHub. And well, that's all. I hope you like the process of creating your own personal website. I know that there's many steps, like for example, the Proxmox, how to set up with all the dynamic DNS, with also having to open the ports that I haven't explained. I think it's a bit more complicated. Again, if you think it will be nice to make a video about it, you can comment it. And that's all. I hope you like it. And see you in the next video. And if you have any questions, just ask it in the comments. Bye bye.